Godfall leaks, Pokemon likes, and delays. Oh my. What up, viewers? What up, what up? Today is Friday, January 24th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on, so let's jump right in. So, TemTem is a most recently published by Humble Bundle. So Humble Bundle has gotten into making video games, and they've now released TemTem, which is a MMO Pokemon-like. So I haven't seen much gameplay of it, but it plays very much like a Pokemon game. You're running around, you're a trainer, you fight against other trainers, you capture other Pokemon, you collect resources, your Pokemon, I don't know what the name of the creatures are, but your creatures level up. They have somewhat of a type system, and the one thing that it seemed like was added to this is there's now like a stamina system, and so your Pokemon using powers will use up more stamina, and once their stamina is depleted, they're also knocked out or they've overexerted themselves and they can hurt themselves. I just got done playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, so I'm not sure I jumped right into TemTem, but the initial impressions are very good for it. So if you are looking for a Pokemon-like, then TemTem might be the one for you. Moving right along, Dying Light 2 has been delayed. That kind of slipped in under the American holiday of MLK that happened on Monday, but that was when the news about it released. The Dying Light 2 will be delayed. They had last time we saw it, I believe it said something about like September, or not September. It said summer 2020 or spring 2020. So it wasn't a hard and fast release date to begin with, but they just said they're pushing it out further and they need to work on some things, but we don't know when that is. So, we'll see Dying Light 2 when it comes out, but their Techland, the developer studio behind it, are taking some time to work on some things. I enjoyed Dying Light 1, so I'm kind of looking forward to Dying Light 2, but I don't know when I'm going to be playing it. Also, if you're stretching really far, there's another delay this week in this whole season of delays, but this one's kind of a stretch. Wouldn't think of this as like a mainstream AAA game, but Iron Man VR that was coming out for PlayStation has been pushed from next month February to all the way to May. So if you want to run around with your PlayStation VR and feel like you're Iron Man, which I thought was a really cool application, it's a really good idea for a game and a really cool application of the technology, but we won't be seeing that until May. So if you're looking to do that, if you're looking to be Iron Man, you gotta wait till May. And like I said in the intro, Godfall leaked. It didn't really leak, but people have gotten the internet was caught by storm as Godfall has a whole 66 seconds of gameplay was kind of shown. So Godfall is the next game that's coming out, or I think it's the first game coming out for the PlayStation 5. It was touted as this hacker slasher looter. I think that like a slasher looter, I think is what they called it. So yeah, the game leaked a little bit. It showed a little bit of the hacking slashing, not too much of the loot system, but I don't know, it kind of got me thinking of like how much, not a slight tangent here, but how much like I feel like Monster Hunter World kind of gave people who weren't typically into these like slow-paced, methodical like slashing games a entrance into it, and now I think you've seen this kind of like rebirth of everybody kind of likes the third-person action RPG genre. I know Dark Souls has been around forever, but I feel like that was always a little bit more niche, and now this is kind of broadening out. The game looks cool, but yeah, it looks like a third-person action RPG, hacking, slashing, melee weapon that will potentially have a loot grind. So I'm excited for that and what it means for the PlayStation 5. Coming up, Fortnite and TikTok are partnering to try and find the next Fortnite emote. And that might be the most Gen Z thing I've ever heard or seen or said. But yes, Fortnite is working with the young whippersnapper's new social media platform of TikTok to try and find its next emote. So if you want to be a famous Fortnite emote and not get paid any money for all your hard work, then you can do so by submitting something on TikTok. I'll have a link down below in the description of how the contest works. But yeah, if you got some moves, then throw them in the TikToks or whatever you kids are calling it nowadays. Moving right along, Tencent is aiming at Funcom. So Tencent, the company that owns Riot Games, and has invested a lot in a bunch of different gaming companies. They are now setting their sights on Funcom. Funcom is the studio behind Conan Exiles, and I believe they've got another game that's kind of been baking in the oven. So yeah, so Tencent, the world's largest gaming company, is now looking to acquire more studios. And I don't know who's going to stop them. On the other end, Disney is selling out of the games industry. The studio they had behind, with their recent purchase of Fox, comes Fox Next, which was supposed to be Fox's gaming platform. They were going to develop a couple other games. I feel like there was an Alien game that was coming out of Fox Next, and there was a couple others. I think there was a Simpsons game, maybe. I'm not quite sure. But Disney is just straight up, as soon as they acquired Fox, they sold off Fox Next. Disney does not want anything to do with interactive at all. So they have given Fox Next away. Well, they sold it, but they don't want anything to do with games. So they are not in that place at all. Ubisoft is going through a restructuring process. They're adding a whole editorial staff or restructuring their editorial staff to make sure that their games feel more distinct from release to release. I believe this is all a response to Ghost Recon Breakpoint that came out at the end of last year, in September of last year, October of last year. And that game didn't feel distinct enough from Wildlands. I said that. A lot of other people said that Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins felt a little bit too close for some people's comfort. So I believe this is all a response to how often they've been releasing their games. They've taken some efforts. They're remodeling and restructuring their team so that everything feels distinct and unique and what will drive consumers to buy their product. So it sounds like a good move. It sounds like they're learning from their mistakes, but they had a bunch of games that were set to come out, and I believe people still want to play some of those games, so you can restructure and still release games at the same time. But I think they're making sure all their ducks are in a row before they set out their next game, so good on them. Activision Blizzard and Google are partnering up for a big partnership. So by Google, I mean YouTube Gaming. So Activision and Blizzard have signed papers to have an exclusive streaming agreement on the YouTube gaming platform, and that's for their Call of Duty titles as well as Overwatch. So it sounds like Overwatch League is switching over to YouTube Gaming if that's where you want to watch your Overwatch League. I don't know if I personally don't think that's the best move, but these are two giant companies with a lot smarter people than me, making sure these things work out. So hopefully it works out for them, but I don't know what that means for you Overwatch League's fans out there. There is a Lego version of Untitled Goose Game. It's not a game. There's a Lego set that could be made that is based on Untitled Goose Game, and it looks awesome. I have a link down below in the description. I think it looks awesome. I believe there was some way to say that you want this. I didn't quite get all the way down there. I just saw an awesome Legoized version of Untitled Goose Game, and I thought it looked amazing. But again, this is a Lego set, physical set, and not a Lego version of the game Untitled Goose Game. So if you're into Legos, physical Lego sets, or Untitled Goose Game, this could be great. I imagined it perfectly on my desk somewhere. So if you're into Lego kits or Untitled Goose Game, this could be a cool buy. Last but certainly not least, don't forget to toss a coin to your Witcher. The official soundtrack for the Netflix series The Witcher is out. I've already purchased my MP3 of Toss a Coin to Your Witcher. So if you want the official version and not the 400 billion other versions that have come out, it is available on iTunes. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy this content. If you do, follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch. Links down below in the description so you can see more great content like this. It really helps me grow, and I really appreciate all the support that people give to me via liking, subscribing, and talking to me on my various platforms. Thanks again. Hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye!